an amazing day because I am as usual. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. So there is something very, very important that we need to discuss, and that is the question of how much bone do I need to hold in order for me to be put into the elite group, okay? Because that elite group is that exclusive club of the mini whales or call it whatever you want, but those that are actually holding a considerable amount of bone to change their lives big time, okay? And, you know, potentially you could change your life with less bone, but what I'm saying is reaching a specific number that, you know, is a big amount. In my opinion, I would say, okay, it's around 10,000 bone. Because with 10,000 bone, if we reach $100 a bone as predicted, the people would make $1 million. Okay, you're making $1 million out of bone if it reaches $100. That is actually predicted by many, you know, by the end of this year, maybe next year, but definitely that is in the projections. That is one of the objectives, and a lot of people are talking about how bone could be going up to 100, even more. But I think if I was to take something realistic, you know, because potentially I could say $1,000 per bone, but I'd rather be realistic at this point. Maybe in the near future also make a video about it potentially going higher than our expectations. But $100 is a very common expectation that a lot of people have. So think about it: 10,000 bone, $100 a bone equals $1 million. Okay, and you are in the elite group. You have already made more money than, you know, than most people on this planet, which is a very crazy thing to actually think about. The fact that, you know, bone hasn't been around for so long. It's not like a crazy big investment, yet you're cashing in big time. And I think there is a lot of possibility. Okay, 10,000 bone. It also depends on how much you're buying the bone. I mean, potentially you could be investing $10,000 to buy 10,000 bone. At this point, you'd have to invest even more money to get 10,000 bone because it's floating more around, you know, 1.24, and it keeps on fluctuating. But there was a time at which it only cost 30 cents a bone. So think about it, okay? That was a very good amount. So you would have invested maybe $3,000 in something, maybe $3,200, $3,200, and you could have turned that into $1 million. Well, you could in the future. Because the projections are very high, extremely high. If, you know, you go in CoinGecko, I mean, look, if I was to open up the big chart, at some point it says that it was around $15, but a lot of people actually messaged saying that when bone first came out, it was $75. So without a utility, it was floating at such a high price. I guess now it could be even higher than that, okay, with all the market cap being considered, and just the potential that it has with the layer 2 solution coming out, with SHIBARIUM, you know, having to use bone in every single transaction. So the gas fee is lower, the faster transactions, everyone building around SHIBARIUM. So every time SHIBARIUM is used, bone will be needed. And I've covered it in every single video, so you guys pretty much know how it works. If you don't, then check out my other videos. But the point here is that we could be seeing $100, and it could be done very soon. If not, it definitely is worth the wait, even if it's in the long term. If someone was to tell me, you know, you have to wait 2-3 years for it to turn into $100, then I would do that, because, you know, at the end of the day, anyone that's holding 10,000 bone, at least it turns it into $1 million. I know if you hold 5,000 bone, $500,000 is still an amazing amount of money. But what I see myself, you know, classifying as the elite, okay, of the ones that actually are gonna make like a crazy amount of money, crazy. I mean, I'm not saying that $500,000 or a few $100,000 isn't good, you know, good considerable amount of money. But what I mean is that, you know, that top group, the echelon up there. So either way, guys, you know, I am super excited, super happy with the way things are going. Generally, guys, the price has started pumping like no tomorrow. And I know Bitcoin has also been going up, and the SHIB ecosystem has been following Bitcoin. But I think also with all the announcements, with all the predictions, and people feeling that SHIBARIUM could come out any day, it has really helped the price pump. So let's keep this pump going. and let's see how far it can go. But guys, you know, I would be really curious about how much bone you're holding. Are you in that elite group of at least 10,000 bone, or are you a bit less? But guys, you know, what I can tell you for sure is, from the research I've done, is that on average, the average bone holder holds around 3,000 bone, okay? And that still is a very, very good amount, okay? 3,000 bone will turn it into 300 grand. You can do a lot of things with that. Either way, you know, depending on how much you're holding, your life and just your psychology, because, you know, your mood and your optimism will go up like no tomorrow. It's not just about the money, but it's the fact that you will see the world of cryptos as a world full of potential and a way to actually make, you know, a living out of this. So I am so happy to be an early bird within this bone SHIBASWAP journey. Hopefully things work out as we have it planned, and I know that, you know, with all the community coming together, it will work our way. So make sure, as I've said, that you're subscribed, that you hit that notifications bell. About, you know, the amount of bone that you hold, it would be really interesting for us to know. Maybe we can even talk about it and see how much you could potentially make, or how much are you predicting to make. So all that vital information would be very interesting. And as usual, just want to say a big thank you to everyone. I appreciate all the support, and I'll see you in my next video. Peace out.